We welcome you to game number 2 of our Saturday doubleheader as the Mount Hood Saints are hosting the Umpqua Riverhawks all the way from Roseburg, Oregon. With you, Jackson Hamlin again. Good to be back with you as always. Cody Runsville joining me here today. Cody, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Excited to see. Well, we already saw a pretty entertaining first game, even though the score may not have reflected that, but should be
Certainly,
a pretty competitive second game with the Mount Hood Saints and the Umpqua Riverhawks.
as they should be.
The Southern rankings right now have the Umpqua Riverhawks placed at 4th. They are the last team in the current postseason projection as of today. For the Mount Hood Saints, they are at the bottom of the conference. They have been officially eliminated from postseason contention, unfortunately. The Mount Hood Saints come in with a record of 7-17, 2-10 in conference play. The Riverhawks come in at 16-9 overall, 7-5 in conference play. The last time these two teams met was a playoff qualifying game in which the Umpqua Riverhawks came here to Yoshida. They defeated the Mount Hood Saints 85-79, and 3 days before that, these teams met on sophomore night, and Cody, if you remember, you were there with me
Yes,
as
I
Mount Hood
was.
Saints got the win, 82-73 on that faithful night. I believe that was Friday night, and the playoff game was Monday night. Getting to the starting five, as you are hearing our lovely public address announcer, Albert Hensley, uh, over the PA, giving it to the fans here. Starting with the visiting Umpqua Riverhawks, number 0, Leo Sewell. Number 5, Creighton Hansen. Number 10, Evan Tatum. Number 21, Kobe Dumas. And number 35, Will Harris. The Riverhawks are led by their 11th year head coach, Daniel Leeworthy. He is 173-77 in his last 9 seasons and 81-22 in his last 4. Assistant coaches Brock Gilbert and Jaron Leeworthy. And switching over to the home team, the Mount Hood Saints, number 1, Amir Player. Number 3, Jalen Blackwell. Number 10, Pat Robinson. Number 14, Zane Bernard. And number 20, Matthias Billings. Saints are led by head coach Alex Lewis-Sim and assistants Hanny Dowd, Devin Colthorpe, and Sean Carson. The officials are for tonight's game are led by crew chief John Mateo and umpires Neil Andresen and Grant Greenhalgh, as we are just about set for half number 1 of game number 2. Cody, any thoughts before we tip things off?
No major thoughts. I'm just curious to see how this game starts. Start to the game is largely how the game finishes. So,
Dumas against Billings for the tip, and it is controlled by the Riverhawks as they are wearing the all green unis just like the women were with the white numbers. They are moving from right to left to start here in the first half as that quick shot is put in by Hansen and an early 2-0 lead for the Riverhawks. Mount Hood moving from left to right. They are wearing the gray unis, the red numbers, as it is Amir Player who has the ball. Gets it over to Blackwell. Blackwell over on the left wing. Long pass ahead now to Bernard. Gets it back over to Billings. Billings got it poked away, and here come the Hawks. Now carried into the zone by Sewell. Sewell backs away. Now gets it inside. That's carried in by Hansen. Hansen spins. Hansen floats it back out. Tipped, and it's into the hands of Bernard. Bernard with a steal. Bernard goes up. Puts it up and off. No good. It's rebounded by the Hawks. Here comes Umpqua. It's carried up here by Sewell. Sewell to the top of the key. Gets it back over to the right side. Carried in by Harris. Harris thought about a 3. Didn't take it. Now hands it back off. Harris gets it back. Now over to the left side. Here's Sewell. Sewell underneath. Puts it up and in. And Umpqua off to a good start here. Already up 4-0. Just over a minute in. Here's Player. Player kicks it back out. Robinson. Robinson gets it back over to Bernard. Bernard on the right wing. Gets it back to Player. Player to Bernard. Bernard driving. Gets it into Billings, who can't put it up, but he is going to be fouled, and that's going to send Matthias Billings to the free throw line to try to open up the scoring here for the Saints. So you take a look here at the shooting statistics, free throw percentage here for Matthias Billings. He is a 70% shooter as he will get Mount Hood on the board with the first free throw. That is hit. It is 4-1. So Billings still with a second free throw here. And it's on the way, and it is good. He got them both. It's 4-2. They cut into the deficit a little bit more. Just a few baskets scored so far. 90 seconds into this first half as Sewell hands it off. That one's Harris. Gets it back out. Here's a three in the corner, and it's drilled by Hansen. The triple there by Hansen extends the lead to 5. It's 7-2 as we approach 2 minutes in. Here's Robinson. Robinson back to Bernard. Over to Blackwell. Blackwell to Player. Player looks. Player kicks it back out. Bernard, he takes a three. It's off the iron, no good, and rebounded by Harris. Here come the Hawks. Inside. That one got blocked by Player, but still found its way into the basket, and the Riverhawks up 9-2. Here come the Saints as Blackwell brings it up. Blackwell crossing the logo, gives it over to Bernard. Inside now to Billings. Short little jumper off the back iron, no good. Into the hands now of Tatum. Gets it ahead now to Harris. Harris on the right side, gets it over to the left side. There's Sewell. Sewell, long pass back to Hansen. Hansen inside, stolen away by Player as he gets it over to Bernard. Bernard brings it up now for the Saints. Here's Bernard moving in, kicks it back out. Robinson. Robinson gives it to Blackwell. Blackwell steps into a three and can't hit it. And the tip up, no good. It's rebounded by Umpqua, and here's Sewell. Sewell brings it up. Sewell to the left. Hands it off. Carried into the zone now here by Harris. Here's a three on the way. That one's no good. And it's rebounded offensively by Sewell. He can't put it in, and Bernard gets the rebound. Zane Bernard carries it across now for the Saints. He's on the left side. Bernard to the top of the key. Now drives in, kicks it back out. Billings gets it back to Player. Back now Billings. Billings over to Bernard. Bernard drives in, looks, gets it back over to Billings. Billings steps into a triple, and it's off the iron, no good. Rebound kept out. And now here's Sewell. Sewell brings it up now here for the Hawks. 16.5 to go here in the opening half. Gets it over now to the left side to Harris. Harris guarded by two Saints defenders. Now looks, got it stolen away. Blackwell's got it. Blackwell gets up and slowly walks the ball across the line. Blackwell over to the right, gives it over to Billings. Hands it back to Blackwell, over to Bernard. Bernard gets it back to Player. Player over on the left side. Player moving in. Player guarded by two. Now puts up the shot. It's no good. It's rebounded here by the Riverhawks, carried in by Dumas. Dumas gets it across Sewell. Now inside as the layup is put in by Tatum to extend the Riverhawk lead. It's 11-2. So here come the Saints. It's Bernard. Bernard will carry it across. Bernard, long pass over to Blackwell. Blackwell gives it over to Bernard or Billings. Gets it back to Bernard. Inside the Player. Kicks it into Billings. Billings puts up the shot. No good, but he is fouled, and that will send him back to the line. So the foul there against the Riverhawks is going to go against Leo Sewell. It's his first foul of the game. It's the second foul against the Hawks. Billings is the only person so far that's been at the free throw line. He went 2 for 2, and now he's for 3 as he hits the first of the second pair. And Cody, for Mount Hood, the only scoring they have so far has been Billings here at the free throw line.
At the free throw line. Yeah, so I want to say they've
second free throw up, and the second free throw is good, so he's gone 4 for 4. So that's helped a little bit. They're back down by 7, 11-4, as we approach 15.5 minutes to go here in the opening half. Here's Harris. Harris inside, and that one gets poked away, carried in by Hansen. Now kicks it back out. 3 from Sewell on the way. Back iron, no good. Rebounded by Blackwell. You were saying?
I was saying how Mount Hood needs to enter the paint a few more times because I'd say so far they've gotten only 2 foul calls, but they haven't entered the paint that many times. So there we go. Good finish.
So that was Player who put that one in. It's a 5-point game, 11-6. As we dip under the 5-minute mark, 14:55 and counting remaining here in half number 1. Sewell will ring it up now for the Riverhawks. He's at the top of the key, now hands it off. Carried in by Dumas. Here's a 3 from Sewell. Off the iron, no. Player grabs the rebound. Amir Player, who had a crazy dunk in the last game here that I saw him at. Just absolutely insane. off the pass from Hampton, I believe. He had an insane dunk, and he puts in
wow.
that double that got him to within 5. As now we got a whistle as that one gets turned back over to the Hawks. We reach our first timeout of the half with 14:24 to go, and Umpqua leads 11-6. So far, a little bit closer than we were in the women's game, Cody. But Umpqua got off to a hot start. They led by 9. They led 11-2 at one point. A 4-0 run since then for the Saints has got them back to within 2 possessions. Something that
Yes.
has definitely helped them throughout the season. And I think one of the things you have to look at for the Mount Hood Saints being eliminated from postseason contention, and especially for these Umpqua Riverhawks team. Now, the women are in second place. So even if they lose out, they still have likely a good chance to make it into the postseason. For the men, they are standing right now as that last seed. They are the 4 seed right now in the South. So if they get upset here by the Saints today, that could ruin their playoff
We're talking about
chances.
Umpqua right now.
We're talking about the Umpqua
Yes.
Riverhawks men's team. They could be
Well,
out of the playoffs if they lose tonight. But, considering after today, both these teams still have 3 games to go.
yeah.
It would definitely mean a lot to the Saints, at least for now, pushing Umpqua
course.
out of that playoff position.
If you're eliminated out of the playoffs, the best thing you can do is potentially help eliminate your opponent out of the playoffs. That's why you still want to win, even though you're knocked out of the playoffs.
Some other games to look at right now, Cody, that are
Yes.
going on in the men's division here in the South. You have PCC taking on Lynn Benton. That is the number 1 and the number 3 team in the standings right now, playing off against each other. And then another game you have is the number 5 seed Clackamas playing the number 2 seed Southwest Oregon. So if Clackamas wins and Umpqua gets upset here by the Saints, that could slide Clackamas into that 4th and final spot. So this could be a huge game for Umpqua as Sewell puts in the jumper there to extend the lead to 7 with 14 to go. Now, Cody, I had a question for you. I was going to ask you.
Yes, I'm ready.
I was going to ask you at the end of the women's game. I'll wait till the next stoppage to ask you, as now we have some substitutions, just because we have some live play going on.
Yes, sir.
Billings has it at the top of the key, gets it into Blackwell. Now it's Blair. Peyton Albers came into the game, by the way. He took the place of Pat Robinson. We have a whistle, but too quickly for me to ask you and for you to answer this question. Don't worry, I will get to it before you have to leave today, Cody. I will,
Gosh.
because I want to know your answer. So here's Blackwell. He inbounds underneath. Here's Albers. He can't put it in. Rebound. Tried to grab his own rebound. It goes out of play, but possession is going to be turned over to the Riverhawks. 13.5 to go here in the opening half. 13-6 is the Hawks lead. So now here come the Riverhawks as Sewell will bring it up the timeline. Sewell at the top of the key. He's going to be guarded now by Hampton. Hampton's also into the game. So now here inside, kicks it back out. Here's Sewell again in the right corner. Now dribbles it to the inside, kicks it in. Lost it, and now an offensive rebound. Hanson's got it. Now flips it back over. Here's a 3 on the way, and it's off the iron. No good. Offensive rebound kept alive. That one, I think, bounced out of play. And the official on the side saying it's Umpqua basketball as it could not go. They made the shot. It did not count. It came off the whistle. So the inbound pass will come. Here's Harris. Harris now looks, gets it back. Carried in by Dumas. Dumas gets it back now. It's Tatum. Gets it back. Now it's stolen by the Saints. Hampton on the run. Hampton inside. Gets it to Blair. Off the glass. And it falls in. It was hanging up there. We saw that twice in the women's game, Cody, and that's the first time we've seen it in this game.
Yeah. History repeats itself.
Crazy.
All right, good board.
The Blackwell gets the rebound as the Riverhawks could not convert on that possession. It's a 5-point game once again.
Blackwell
13-8.
Blackwell must have like 3 or 4 rebounds already. How tall is he?
He's
Five,
a small dude, so he can get in those he can get inside the paint and get those rebounds.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
So now the Saints could not convert on that drive, so the Riverhawks have it back. Here's Tatum. He floats it up and in, and that extends back to a 7-point lead. 15-8 as we approach 12 minutes to play here in the first half. So here's Blackwell, gets it into Billings, gets it back out. Albers, he's going to take a 3. No, and the rebound kicked back out. It's grabbed by the Riverhawks as it was Hanson who got it to Sewell. Sewell now carries it across over to the left side, gets it back to Harris. Harris moves to the top, now drives, kicks, 3 on the way, around and out, no good. Rebound into the hands of Hampton. Hampton lost it for a second, but he's got it. Hampton now driving. Hampton floats a jumper, No good. Player tried to get the rebound. He jumped a little bit too early. It allowed Harris to get the rebound for the Hawks. Here's Sewell. He steps into a three and drills it. Leo Sewell hits the triple, and the Umpqua Riverhawks have a double-digit lead. It's 18-8 with 11.5 to go. Here's Blackwell. Blackwell's got it on the right side. Now spins, looking, gets it back to Hampton. Hampton over on the right wing, gets it back to Blackwell. Blackwell steps into a three, and it's around and out, no good. Rebounded by the Hawks. Long pass ahead to Harris. Harris has got it in the right. Now gets it to Tatum. Tatum goes up, no good. Rebounded by Albers. Albers. It's a 4-on-2 for the Saints. Albers gets it to Billings. Billings spins. Billings floats. Up, no good. Rebounded and out of play. Possession is going to be retained by the Saints. Cody, they are playing the Umpqua Riverhawks. You have had Umpqua ice cream before, correct?
I may have once or twice.
What is What is your go-to flavor
of Umpqua? Oh man. Honestly, anything except chocolate chip mint.
What?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Unpopular opinion. Chocolate chip mint is. I just don't understand how it could be the most popular flavor. It's so okay. It's just okay.
Cody, we
add some caramel to it, add some crunch.
Cody, if you remember when you were here with me last season when they played Umpqua, during the men's game, we saw across the floor the women's team was sitting over on the bench, and we kept making fun of them.
Yes.
And I remember one thing you said. It was, we noticed we eat. We'll get back to the live game in just a second, folks. Don't worry. But when they were eating fries, if you remember, and at first I thought they were from Jack in the Box, but then I figured out it was actually Burger King fries.
Yes.
Cody came back with, well, Burger King fries are better than McDonald's fries.
They are.
And I'm like, what?
Fact.
They are not.
They are. It's a scientific fact.
McDonald's has the best fries in the fast food game.
No. What McDonald's has is the best Coca-Cola and the best Sprite anywhere in the world. You can't even buy a Coke from a can and have a better Coke than from McDonald's. It's a fact. McDonald's has a specific machine that purifies the Coke. It makes it 3 times more pure than when it came in the classic can.
Can you believe I wanted to bring this guy back, people?
Yeah.
I mean, why did I decide to bring you back?
Because you wanted my hot takes.
You have really crazy opinions. I mean,
Burger King fries, they're at least twice as thick, if not 3. They come out just as hot, if not hotter, more frequently. Just as salty. They're crisp. They're soft on the inside. Oh my gosh, Burger King fries for the win for sure.
So, are you gonna take your Burger King fries and dip it in your mint chocolate chip Umpqua ice cream?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Unless you add
honestly though, fries would make the chocolate chip mint better.
Real quick, so you said you add some caramel to that, right?
At least.
Now I have another question for you.
Here's what you do: you add caramel, get rid of the mint flavored ice cream, because honestly, mint flavored ice cream is probably the worst part about it. You add preferably some French vanilla, some caramel bits, and there you go. Keep the chocolate chip, caramel bits, and substitute the mint ice cream for French vanilla, and bam!
Now another question for you: is it caramel or caramel?
Ooh, I'm American, so caramel.
Proud American. All right, back to the game. Sewell has it. He got it over to Dumas. Dumas gets it in. Now here's Hansen. Hansen spins. Now floats it back to Harris. Harris gets it back now to Hansen. Now Sewell lost it out of bounds, and possession is going to be retained by the Saints. Well, that was a fun conversation.
Thank you.
So now
Keeping it real.
So now here is Stevens. Stevens checks into the game. So Pat Robinson came back into the game. Derrigan Stevens comes into the game as well. That one goes off the foot of an Umpqua defender. So the possession is going to stay with the Saints. Not a lot of scoring was happening while we were talking. Don't you worry. It's 18-10 right now in favor of the Riverhawks. It's an 8-point game. 9 minutes ago. Here's Robinson. Robinson gets it over to Stevens. Stevens gets it over now to Hampton. Hampton got it back. Now looking. Here's Stevens on the left. Stevens gets it back to Bernard. Bernard driving inside, puts it around, and that one flows in. It rattled around the rim, and it's a 6-point game. 18-12 as we dip under 9 minutes to go here in the first half. Sewell gets it across now. Here is Dumas. Dumas gets it back now. Inside, the reverse layup is put in by the other Dumas. There's 2 Dumases on this team, by the way.
Of Umpqua?
On Umpqua, yeah.
They must be brothers.
You have Kobe Dumas and Dawson Dumas. And here is Stevens, gets it back over to Hampton. Hampton driving, got it poked away. It's out of play, but possession is going to stay with the Mount Hood Saints as Amir Player is going to be coming back into the game, taking the place of Matthias Billings. So now a long pass now from Hampton out to Bernard. Bernard gets it inside now to Player. Got his own rebound. It's into the hands of Hampton, who puts it up and in.
I just wanted to add, Umpqua is playing very aggressively on the offensive side of things, and their zone defense has given them the lead, but I think Mount Hood Community College has figured out a way to break their zone. So,
well, there's a screen we just saw there from Umpqua. The ball goes out of play, but it was off the Saints, so it will be Umpqua basketball, as it will be Harris to inbound it. Underneath the basket, gets it across now. Sewell. Sewell gets it back to Harris. Harris on the left wing gets it back. Here's Sewell over on the right side. Kicks it back now. Dumas. Dumas floats it up off the glass. No good. Rebound by Player as he pulled it away from all the Umpqua players. Under 8 minutes to go. Here's Bernard. Bernard lost it. Got it back now. Here's Hampton. Hampton on the right wing. Now drives in. Kicks it to Bernard for 3. Off the iron. No good. Rebounded by Stevens. Stevens gets it back to Hampton. Hampton gets it back now. Hampton driving. Hampton inside. Around it wouldn't go. Offensive rebound. Now we got a tie up, and it's going to be a jump ball. Possession is going to keep the ball with the Saints. As now we have a whistle and a little bit of commotion going on between the benches. As the possession arrow is pointing in the Saints' direction. It is Saints basketball. Hampton will inbound. Long pass to Player. Player gets it back over to Robinson. Robinson gets it back now. Here's Hampton. Hampton to the left. Gets it back now. Here's Player. Player gets it over to Stevens. Stevens on the right wing. Stevens drives in. Stevens lost it. Got it back. Now looks Bernard. Bernard driving. Bernard, little floater. Got it! Zane Bernard from a tough angle shot. Able to put it in, and it's a 4-point game. 20-16, 7 minutes to go here in the opening half. Sewell's got it over on the right wing. Sewell drives inside. Sewell kicks it. It's off the knee of Player, as that's going to keep possession with Umpqua. Inbound comes from Sewell. Sewell gets it in now. Spinning, trying to put it up is Tatum. He kicks it out. It's back into the hands now. Here's Dumas. Now a 3 on the way. Could not be hit. Player grabs the rebound. Very close to stepping on that end line, but he never did. Here's Player. Kicks it back now. Stevens. Stevens to Robinson. Robinson moves from right to left. Robinson gets it back over now to Bernard. Bernard over on the left wing. Bernard faked the pass to Hampton. Now drives in. Kicks it back out. Stevens for 3. Short.
Man.
And the rebound kicked away. And now it's Harris. Here come the Hawks. Hawks have it. Harris has it on the right, on the left wing. Harris looking. Now gets it inside to Tatum. Tatum spins. Tatum looks. Got it. Lost for a second. He's got it back. Stevens tried with the tried it, but he's going to be called for foul. So Darrigan Stevens there is called for the foul. It's his first of the game. It's the third foul, or it's the second foul against the Saints in this first half.
Have the Saints made a three-pointer yet?
6:11 to go. That's what I was just going to say. I don't believe they've had a three-pointer yet.
Yeah, after that air ball.
The Riverhawks, I believe, had 2. So,
yes.
And right now, a 4-point game. You know, had Mount Hood made a three-pointer, you know, it could be a tie game.
They're probably 0-5 right now from 3.
So here's Harris. Harris, little floater is off the iron, no good as the shot clock was expiring. Bernard with the save, but he throws it right to Sewell. Sewell has it for the Hawks. Kicks it back now. Here is Dumas. Here's a 3, and he hits it. So there's the third 3 of the night for the Riverhawks. They lead by 7, 23-16, with 5.5 to go here in the half. Bernard looks. Bernard driving in. Off the rim, no good. Robinson with the rebound. It's poked away into the hands here of Dumas. I believe it's Dumas and Dumas. It's two different pronunciations. Here is Tatum. It got blocked, but I think it's going to be a goaltend against Bernard, or it's just going to be a foul. And let's see if they add any points. I don't actually think that was a goaltending foul, Cody. It was close though.
Yeah, I saw the contact.
Yeah, I think he contacted it before it hit the backboard.
Yeah.
First free throw on the way is good from Tatum. So now that makes it an 8-point lead, 24-16. Tatum, we take a look at his free throw percentage this year. If we have it here, he is a 74% shooter. He is 1 of 1 so far, and now 2 of 2 to extend the lead to 9. 5 and change to go here in the first half. 25-16 is the lead for the Riverhawks. Blackwell carries it up for the Saints. Blackwell gets it over now to Robinson. Robinson gets it back to Blackwell. Gets it over to Bernard. Bernard back to Blackwell. Blackwell, 10 seconds to shoot. Gets it back to Billings. Over to Bernard. Bernard, little floater. And that one's no good, but he's going to be called for the foul. And we got a foul against the Saints. It's going to go against Bernard. It's an offensive foul. I don't know what the foul is.
It was a push.
As a push foul. Well, I believe the Saints, like you said, Cody, they don't have a three-pointer yet. Would you like to make a guess of who will hit the first three-pointer for the Saints?
Number 14.
You think it'll be Bernard?
Yes.
Well, if that doesn't happen, maybe until the second half and you're gone, I'll have to let you know.
You will.
Who that is. But as of right now, I do not believe we can look at the live statistics right now. But like you said, with 16 points, I think it's all been twos. Because if you remember, Cody, the first 4 points for the Saints in this game were those 4 free throws by Billings. So if we take a look at the,
I'd also say like out of the first 8 points, 6 of them were free throws. So.
That's funny. The Umpqua Mt game currently is not updated right now. It is actually. So let's take a look at the stats here for each team, as Mount Hood has not had a 3-point shot yet. They haven't even attempted a 3-point shot yet, according to the stats here. I think they have actually. So maybe they just don't update it until they make a 3. So here come the Hawks. It's carried in by Dumas, not Dumas, it's Dumas. Now here's a shot. That one would not go, as the basketball making its way over to us, as I can reach over and sorry about that. I had to reach over and grab it. Ooh, that kind of hurt my hip. That'll be fun to watch later on the stream. Mark it at 4:39 of the first half. I almost fell out of my chair. Free throw is good there for Harris, as that will extend the lead to 10. As the second free throw is on the way, and it is good. So now it's an 11-point lead for the Hawks. Blackwell will bring it up now for the Saints. Gets it to Aubers, gets it back to Player. Player with 4.5. Player driving inside, off the backboard and in. 18 points for the Saints without a 3-point shot, Cody. Something I don't think we've seen, or at least I haven't seen them do all this season. But they are playing it conservatively, going for the short shots. A 3 is hit there by Dumas, and that extends the Umpqua lead to 12. It's 30-18 as we approach 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Here's Billings. Billings hands it off now to Player. Player gets it to Albers, as Albers had to go back to find it, and he did. So here's Albers driving. Albers kicks it back out. Now here's Robinson. Robinson steps back. 3. Oh, it's no good. It was in and out. That could have been the one, Cody. It was just in and out. Here's another 3. Dumas up, and that one is good, but it hit the top of the backboard, so it will not count. I had one of those the other day in the rec center.
And it didn't count, Jackson.
Well, I didn't make it.
Oh.
He at least.
Even if you did, it wouldn't have counted.
Well, it wouldn't have counted because I wasn't playing in the game. All right, here's Hampton. Hampton now gets it over to Albers. Albers gets it back to Player. Player to Blackwell. Blackwell. Well, right now, I'm going to say right now, I think the first three, we got your prediction at Zane Bernard. Before Mount Hood actually hits a three, I think the person that scores the three, I think it's going to be Hampton. On the run, Sewell hits it, and that extends the lead to 14, 32 to 18 with 3:18 to go here in the opening half. The Mount Hood Saints and the Umpqua Riverhawks here in Gresham.
I have a simple question.
Sure. But first, once again, for those of you listening right now, Mount Hood has not hit a three yet. Cody thinks Zane Bernard is going to be the one to hit it for the Saints, the first one. I think it's going to be Wayne Hampton. We'll see. It could be neither of those players. So it'll be interesting to see. Maybe
my guess is it's going to be one of the five that's on the court.
One of the five that's on the court?
Yeah, on Mount Hood. It'll be one of those five that's on the court playing.
Well, obviously. It's not supposed to be a joke. I didn't get that at first. Anyway, what is your question?
Oh, Mike, it was, I mean, you pretty much put an emphasis on it, but my question was going to be, where are the three-pointers?
Yeah. Maybe Mount Hood goes the entire game without hitting a three-point shot.
That would be insane.
That'd be probably a first. Here's Hampton. Hampton gets it back to Player. Player gets it now to Blackwell. Blackwell has it. Blackwell top of the key, gets it back to Hampton. Hampton over on the left wing. Hampton driving, backs up. Now gets it to Billings. Billings, little floater. Got it. With under 3 minutes to go, 32-20. That was probably the closest Mount Hood has had to a three-point shot, as it was just about from the free throw line, a two-point jumper.
And yet so far away.
Here's Dumas. Dumas gets it back over to Harris. Harris over on the left wing. Harris driving. Harris guarded by two Saints defenders. Kicks it back out to Dumas. Dumas gets it back over. Now here's Hansen. Hansen thought about a three, didn't take it. Now gets it back to Harris. Harris on the right wing. Steps into a three. Off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Hampton. Now it's Player on the run. Player goes up and can't slam it home, but a foul is going to be called as Player lunges into the bench.
Oh, my.
Or the bleachers, I should say, not the bench.
Ooh, he hit somebody.
And there is a collision there. As the foul there is going to go against Creighton Hansen. It's going to send Amir Player to the free throw line to try to cut into this deficit, which is just 12 points, Cody. And, you know, like we said earlier during the women's game, basketball haven't seen comebacks crazier than that. So
wilder things have happened.
So here's Amir Player. Get his free throw percentage here as the first one for him is up, and it is off the back iron. It's no good. So Amir Player, who is typically a 55% free throw shooter. So in the 50s, should hit this one and does. So he goes 50% on that trip. 32-21. It's an 11-point game, 2:20 to go. Mount Hood still not with a three-point shot. I want to say they've had like maybe only 2 or 3 attempts, though. So as now Stevens goes down. Here's Hansen. Gets it back to Sewell. Sewell with 12 on the shot clock. Hansen spins, now puts it up, and he puts it in, extending the lead to 13, 34-21, 2-minute warning here in Gresham. Stevens has it. Stevens gets it back now to Albers. Albers gets it over to Hampton. Hampton faked a three. Now it's Albers. Albers three, around and out, no good. Could have been the one, but just not it, Cody. Here's Sewell. Sewell looking, gets it back over to Hansen. Hansen hands it off now. Here is Harris. Harris gets it back. Now carried in on the left wing. Here's a three on the way. It's off the iron, no good, as it was Tatum who could not hit it. Here come the Saints, down 13, 88 seconds to go here in the half. Stevens driving in. Stevens looking, kicks it back to Billings, lost it, and possession turned over to the Riverhawks with 81 seconds to go in half number one. So now here come the Riverhawks. Sewell will bring it up. Sewell crosses quickly. Sewell over on the left wing. Looks, gets it back over to Dumas. Dumas looking for somebody, gets it to Harris. Harris at the top of the key. Harris lost, got it back. Harris underneath. Harris looking, kicks it back out now. Hansen. Hansen spins, guarded by Billings. Hansen around, no good. Rebounded by Billings. Billings gets it to Stevens. Stevens under a minute to go. 52 seconds and counting. Here's Stevens on the left side. Stevens hands it off. Here's Player. Player driving. Player off the glass, off the rim, tipped away. Sewell's got it. 40 seconds to go in the first half. Sewell driving. Sewell inside, kicked it away. Sewell again, puts it around and in. As now we have a quick injury timeout. Billings was being tended to by the one official. Looks to be okay. 15-point lead now for the Riverhawks. 36-21. 34 seconds to go in the first half.
15-point lead?
15-point lead. As we have another whistle. Substitution here for the Hawks. Sewell checks out. And it looks like Will Casebolt is going to be coming in. Player will inbound it to Stevens. Stevens with under half a minute to go. Will Mount Hood hit a three before the half ends? That's the question. Here's Hampton. Hampton inside. Player's got it. Player underneath. Up and in with the foul. Amir Player waited for the right time and went up, put it in. He gets fouled and a chance at a three-point play. So the foul there is going to go against Casebolt. It's the first foul against him. Each team with 5 fouls in the first half. Hansen checks in as it looks like Tatum is stepping out. So Amir Player with a chance to convert on the three-point play to cut it to a dozen points again, and it is off the iron, no good. It's rebounded by Hansen. Here's Sewell. Dozen seconds to go. Sewell driving. Sewell to the top of the key. Sewell inside. Kicks it back out. Here's Hansen. 6 seconds to go. Gets it back to Dumas. Gets it back now Hansen. Hansen a three with 3, and it's good. And now here's a quick, and now Hampton could not get it off at the buzzer pretty much. It is Hansen. He hits the triple, and the Umpqua Riverhawks will go into the locker room with a 16-point halftime lead, 39-23. Cody, before you leave, I want to thank you for joining me here today. I have a couple of things to ask of you first.
Yes.
Before you go, your thoughts on the first half.
Thoughts, Umpqua is playing very aggressively, especially on the offensive side of things, especially in the paint. In the paint, they're killing it. They've made several three-pointers. They're keeping it very active on the offensive side of things. Defensively, that zone is working out pretty good for them. Obviously, a lot less of a lead compared to the women's game that we just watched previously. The Saints still have yet to make a three. They've attempted
A couple times.
They've probably attempted under 5.
We can look at that right now, but keep going.
Attempted under 5. They need to find their groove. They don't get another quarter. They get one more half.
Mount Hood they are 0 for 9 from 3.
Holy smokes.
So they've attempted 9 3-pointers, but none have gone in. And like Cody said earlier, he thinks it's going to be Zane Bernard to hit the first 3. I think it's going to be Wayne Hampton. Cody, I will let you know who hits that 3, if at all we see a 3 from the Saints in the second half. Now, what do you think the message that Coach Lewell is going to give to the team at halftime down by 16?
This is for the Saints?
This is for Mount Hood down by 16.
The message has got to be centered around getting your guys ready for action this half. Like I said earlier, they're not playing to win for the playoffs. They're playing to beat these guys to potentially knock them out of playoff potential.
Playing spoiler,
right? They're trying to upset Umpqua in that sense. So he's got to figure out. Coach has got to figure out what to do offensively, defensively. I would just say, let's keep a hand up on the 3-pointers and try and stop those from sinking, and keep the motivation up and high.
Now for Umpqua, they're up by 16. What is going to be the overall message to them to kind of preserve this lead going into the second half?
Keep the energy up. The energy is great. Keep making those 3-pointers. Keep attempting 3-pointers. Let's make good shots. And defensively, we're working out very well with our zone. So let's not change that. The stick, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Yeah, plain and simple for Umpqua.
Cody, favorite thing from today?
Favorite thing from today? Definitely getting a second chance to come back and give my input on the game. It's my favorite thing about today.
Cody, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Jackson.
Hopefully you get out of here safely. Go take care of what you need to do. It was always a pleasure to have you here for most of the women's game, half the men's game. I appreciate it. I will be back with you for the second half, but Cody Runsville giving his final sign off. Cody, it was good to see you. And you're still crazy if you think Burger King fries are the best. All right, second half with me and only me is coming up shortly.
I'm always crazy.
Second half about to begin here in Gresham. The final half of this Saturday afternoon of basketball. 20 down and 20 to go. The Riverhawks lead the Saints 39-23 as the second half will get underway with the Umpqua Riverhawks having possession of the basketball. Sewell gets the inbound pass as they will switch sides. As Umpqua will be moving from left to right, the Saints will be moving from right to left. Here comes Hansen. Gets it back out now to Harris. Harris drives to the inside, got it poked away, lost it, but got it back. Here's Hansen again, tipped back into the hands of Hansen. Now driving, that one would not go, into the hands of Robinson and over to Blackwell. A reminder, Cody Runsville, we miss him already. We thank him for his time here. He says Zane Bernard will be the first to hit a three. I think it'll be Wayne Hampton. We still have not had a three made from the Saints yet, but we might see it here in the second half. It is Player, and it is off the iron. No good. It could have been the one. Sewell brings it up now for the Hawks. Sewell got it poked away. Now lost it again. Got it back now. Here's Dumas. Got it back over to Harris. Harris kicks it back out now. Sewell's got it in the right corner. Sewell gets it to Hansen. Hansen gets it back to Harris. Harris fakes, now drives. Driving, gets it now to Hansen. Hansen underneath. Gets the shot up by Tatum to extend the lead. 41-23. Here's Bernard. Gives it back to Billings. Bernard driving in. Bernard off the backboard. No good. Rebounded by Sewell. Sewell's got it. Tipped away. Out of play. Possession is going to be retained by the Riverhawks. So just 90 seconds here into this second half. It'll be Sewell. As Sewell has it here for the Hawks. Gives it across now to Harris. Harris drives in, up and off the glass and good. And the lead is 20. 43-23. Here come the Saints. It is Blackwell. Blackwell kicks it to Bernard. Bernard inside, back out. Blackwell in the corner, gives it to Bernard. Bernard back to Player. Player on the right side, inside to Billings. Lost it. Possession Umpqua. The Saints on a little bit of a drought here, have not had points here yet in the second half. Not had a three yet in the game. As the inbound pass will come from Hansen. Gets it to Sewell. Sewell brings it up the floor, guarded by Bernard. Now guarded by Player. Gives it over to the left side. Sewell now at the top of the key. Gives it across now to Dumas. Dumas on the right wing. Gives it back to Sewell. Gives it back over to Harris. Harris on the left side. Spinning. Now floats it to Hansen. Hansen with 6 to shoot. Hansen inside. Reverse is good. A little bit of a float from the reverse there from Hansen. And it extends the lead to 22, 45-23, 17 and a half to go. Here's Bernard. Bernard steps into it and hits it. That is just a 2. I thought it was a 3. It was very close to being behind the line, but now it's back to a 20-point game. 45-25, 17 to go. Here is Tatum. It's no good. Tipped into the hands of Player. Now it's Tatum again. Tatum with the steal. Goes up. No good. Robinson with the rebound. Robinson hands it off to Blackwell. Blackwell over to Bernard. Bernard looks. Bernard at the top of the key. Bernard steps away, gives it back over to Robinson. Robinson to Player. Player to Bernard. Bernard, Blackwell. Blackwell looking to Bernard, gives it inside to Billings. Billings now spinning, floats, gives it back to Player, goes up. No good, but a foul is going to be called. So the foul there is going to go against the Hawks. As the foul there is going to go against Kobe Dumas. So here's Player at the line. Try to cut into this deficit with 2 free throws. First one on the way is good. So now it's 45-26. And now the second free throw for Player. On its way and no good. Blackwell's got it. Gives it back now to Bernard. Bernard's got it on the right wing. Bernard, jumper, good. Zane Bernard hits the jumper, and it's a 17-point game, 45-28. They end up getting 3 instead of 2 on the play. Very smart to miss that second free throw and get an offensive rebound. as now that one no good by Tatum, rebounded by Blackwell. Blackwell, top of the key, gives it over. Here's Robinson. It's good. Pat Robinson gets the three. It's the first of the night for the Saints. Pat Robinson is the one to break it. Here's Sewell. Sewell with 16 to go. It's a 14-point game. Back across. That one goes out of play, and possession is going to be retained by the Hawks. Cody, if you're listening, Pat Robinson gets the first three for the Saints. It took 24 minutes, but the Saints finally have a three-point shot that goes in. Here's Harris. Harris at the top of the key. Harris spinning. Gets it back out now here. A three. It is off the iron. No good. Offensive rebound to Harris. Now gets it back to Hansen. Hansen up. And that one no good. He is going to be called for the travel. It's a travel call against the Hawks. Here's Bernard. Gives it back to Blackwell. Blackwell brings it up the floor. Here is Blackwell. Gives it over now to Bernard. Bernard steps into a jumper and he hits it. Zane Bernard, a couple of jumpers for him. This lead is now a dozen for the Hawks. 45-33, just under 15 and a half to go here in the contest. Sewell gets it across now to Harris. Harris got it poked away and back into the hands of Tatum. Tatum's got it. Tatum inside. Gets it back out. Here is Harris. Harris, floater around. No. Rebound tipped away. Back to Hansen. He's got it. So the shot there is good. The Riverhawks lead by 14, and we have a timeout on the floor with 15:04 remaining in the game. Umpqua leads it 47-33. So we take a look at the upcoming schedules for both of these teams. For the Saints, they will have their final home game of the season on Monday. They will be hosting the Southwest Oregon Lakers, and then they will finish with 2 road games and 2 tough road games because they will once again face off against this Umpqua team on Wednesday in Roseburg, and then they will finish the season downtown in Portland against PCC, and that one will be on the 28th. For Umpqua, they have 3 games remaining as well. They have the next game on Wednesday against the Saints. They will have the Mount Hood Saints back to back, as they will not play again until that game on Wednesday. Then they will finish with another home game against PCC, or Southwest Oregon, I should say. And then they will finish on the road against Chemeketa. Take a look at some scores around the league. PCC right now is taking on Lynn Benton. That is the number 1 versus number 3 seed. As we get a quick update on that right now, it is 31-26 at halftime. Lynn Benton with the lead. So now here come the Saints. It's Blackwell who carries it up. Blackwell gives it over now to Hampton, gives it back to Bernard, now to Robinson. Robinson moves to the top. Robinson gives it over to Hampton. Hampton gives it to Blackwell. Blackwell gives it inside now to Bernard, or Billings. Gives it back now to Blackwell. Blackwell, floater up and good. It hung up there for a second, but he puts it in. 14 and a half to go. It's a 12-point game, 47-35. Harris gets it inside now. Here's Tatum. Tatum goes up. It's no good, but he will be shooting 2, and he will go to the line. So Pat Robinson is going to be called for the foul. It's his first. We have another timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well. Umpqua 47, Mount Hood 35. So out of the timeout is Pat Robinson, who was called for the foul. It is Evan Tatum at the line. He just missed the first free throw, as the second one is good. We take a look at his free throw percentage in just a second as Hampton hands it off. Here's Bernard. Bernard in, and he floats it home. So now here come the Hawks on the return, as it was Evan Tatum at the line. He is a 75% shooter. Saints steal the ball. Blackwell puts it up and in. 14 minutes to go. It is a 9-point game. Back to single digits, 48-39. Here come the Hawks again. Mount Hood creating some pressure, creating some defense. Here's Harris. Harris looking. Harris trapped. Gives it back out. Dumas gives it over to Sewell. Sewell on the right wing. Sewell driving inside. Looks. Gets it back out to Hanson. Hanson gives it back to Harris. Harris looking. Harris floats a deep three. Off, no good. Rebound into the hands of Billings. Long pass ahead to Hampton. Hampton gives it across to Blackwell. Blackwell, Robinson. Robinson to Bernard. Bernard into the corner to Hampton. Hampton didn't take the three. He thought about it. Here's Bernard. Gives it back to Billings. Lost it, but got it back. Billings looks, gets it back to Hampton for three. Off the rim. No, Robinson tries to collect. He does. He throws it out of bounds. He throws it right to his head coach, and it's Umpqua basketball. Inbound pass comes to Sewell from Tatum. Sewell brings it up the floor. 13 minutes to go. 48-39. It's a single-digit game once again. Here come the Hawks. Harris has it over on the right wing. Harris driving in. Now we got a whistle. It's going to be a foul, and it's going to be against the Saints. So it's going to be Jalen Blackwell called for the foul. It's a blocking foul. Blackwell's second foul of the night. Now an inbound pass will come for the Riverhawks. Sewell looking, long pass to Dumas. Dumas gets it over to Harris, back over to Sewell. Sewell on the right wing, guarded by Blackwell. Sewell driving inside. Sewell puts up the shot, and he puts it in. Nothing but net there as he was contested by the defense, but he's still able to get the fall. 11-point lead, 50-39, 12 and a half to go. Here's Robinson. Robinson to Bernard. Gives it over now to Hampton. Hampton over on the right wing. Now drives to the free throw line. Gives it over to Bernard. Bernard fakes. Drives in. Bernard puts up the shot high off the glass. No good, but he's fouled. So Zane Bernard will go to the line and try to cut into this deficit a little bit more. So we take a look at Zane Bernard's free throw percentage. 88%. And the first one on the way is good. So that makes it a 10-point game, 50-40. 12:24 to go. Bernard still has the second free throw. Second free throw for Bernard is good. He got them both. Back to a 9-point game, 50-41. 12:20 to go. Getting a little closer here as the Hawks bring it back up the floor. Here's Sewell. Sewell looking, got it poked away, and a foul is going to be called against Robinson, a reach-in foul. So it's Robinson's second. It's the third foul against the Saints in the half. As now it'll be inbounded by Dumas, gets it to Sewell. Sewell crosses from left to right. Sewell moves back to the left side, gets it over to Dumas, gives it back to Harris. Harris kicks it back out. Dumas, a three is off the iron, no good. Rebounded by Hampton. Hampton's got it. Hampton driving. Hampton across. Hampton goes to the corner. Here's Bernard for three. It's around and out, no good. Rebound by Dumas. Here is Sewell. Sewell, the right side. Sewell driving behind the back pass. No good. Robinson with the rebound. Umpqua bench wanted a foul. They won't get it. Here's Hampton. Gives it to Bernard. The tip is good as it was tipped out of Bernard's hands, but it's still able to fall. 7-point game, 50-43. Here come the Hawks. Sewell's got it, guarded by Hampton. Sewell taking his time. Looks, he's got Harris, but he's guarded by Stevens. Sewell looking, now spins, driving to the free throw line. Up and good. That is Dumas. He puts in the double. 52-43. It's back to 9. 11 minutes to go. Stevens has got it. Stevens to the top of the key. Stevens looks back to Hampton. Hampton drives. Hampton reverse. It's no good. Rebounded here by Hansen. He's got it over to Dumas. Dumas as we approach the halfway point of half number 2. Dumas, Sewell, got no. Bernard the rebound. Here is Robinson. Robinson. He was on the run, but the defender caught up to him. Gives it back to Stevens. Stevens gets it over to Bernard. Bernard to the free throw line. Bernard kicks it back to Hampton. Hampton inside now to Billings. Billings spinning. Robinson reverse. Up no good. Rebounded by Dumas. Gets it over to Sewell. Sewell crosses over on the right. Guarded by Stevens. Has Robinson. Now look. Here is. That is good as that one was put in by Harris. Harris with the floater, and halfway through the second half, it's an 11-point lead again. Here's Robinson. Robinson in the left corner. Robinson to Billings. Billings gives it back over to Stevens. Stevens lost the handle but got it back. Now he's Billings. Billings floats it up. It's no good, but a foul is going to be called, and that will send Billings to the line. So the foul there is going to go against Hansen. Third foul against Hansen. Billings to the line. 2 free throws for Billings. He started the game going 4 for 4. And now he's back at the line, and now he is 5 for, oh no, 4 for 5 as he misses the first. It hit the front of the iron and just bounced off. Substitutions here for both teams as we have Josh Lloyd coming in for Dumas. As now we have another timeout taken. Just past the halfway point of this game. 9:53 to go. 54-43 is the Riverhawks lead. The Riverhawks have a 1-game streak against Mount Hood. They defeated them back on March 6th of 2023. That was a playoff game that got Umpqua into the playoffs just to lose to Lower Columbia. And the last Mount Hood win came 3 days before that on sophomore night. They defeated them on March 3rd, 82-73. Both these teams come off a Mount Hood actually comes off a win. Umpqua comes off a loss. Southwest Oregon playing right now. It'll be interesting to see, as we noted earlier for the women's game, both the women's teams will be coming in off losses. So that should be a good matchup. The next game for Umpqua will be against this same Saints team on Wednesday. So back-to-back, even though it's a 4-day difference. The Mount Hood Saints have the Southwest Oregon Lakers coming into town on Monday. That will be a 5 o'clock tip. The women will be playing at 3 o'clock. I'll have those games for you. Mount Hood, again, eliminated from postseason contention. Unfortunately, they would tie Lynn. Even if they win out, Lynn Benton would have to lose out. Actually, both Lynn Benton and Clackamas would have to lose out. And even if they did, they would have the same exact records. But because head-to-head, Mount Hood lost to both those teams in both meetings. Billings' second free throw after the timeout. A little bit of ice is not good enough as he hits and splits the pair. 5 for 6. He checks out. Amir Player will come back in. 10-point game, 54-44, 9:53 to go. Sewell gets the inbound pass as he will bring it up the floor for the Hawks. Over on the left side, now crosses over to the right side. Sewell spins, gives it over now to Harris. Harris guarded by Player. Harris to the inside. Harris floats it up off the backboard, off the rim, no good. And into the hands of Player. Gives it over to Bernard. Bernard gives it to Hampton. Hampton gives it back to Player. Player inside, poked away, intercepted by Sewell. He's got it. Sewell driving. Sewell goes. Here's Hansen. He puts it home. Back to a dozen-point lead for the Hawks. 56-44. Approaching 9 minutes to play. Here's Stevens. Gets it over now. Hampton over to Albers. Albers moves over to the top. Gives it to Bernard. Inside to Player. Player. Back out Hampton. Over to Albers. Back out Player. Back to Hampton. Hampton up and no good. Rebounded here by Lloyd. Gives it over to Sewell. Now is Harris. Harris gives it back to Sewell. Sewell top of the key, and we got a whistle, and we got a foul against the Saints. So Wayne Hampton is going to be called for the foul. It's his first foul of the night. So the inbound pass will come. Gets it in. Here's Sewell. Sewell on the right wing. Sewell gives it across. Harris has got it. Harris gets it back out. Here's Hanson. Hanson to Harris. Harris puts it up and in. The Riverhawks just extending their lead. It's up to 14. 8.5 to go. 58-44. Here's Stevens. Stevens hands it off now. Here's Hampton. Hampton over to Bernard. Bernard, little jumper. Off the iron, no good. Rebounded by Harris. Here come the Hawks. It's poked away, but possession is going to be retained by the Hawks. I believe the officials are going to have a discussion to see whether or not who it went out of. It's Mount Hood basketball. So it's Mount Hood basketball with 8:18 to go. Hampton will inbound it to Stevens. Stevens crosses. Stevens hands it back to Hampton. Hampton looks, gets it over to Robinson. Robinson back, Hampton. Hampton gives it over to Robinson. Robinson inside to Player. Player drives, puts it up, and in. Amir Player gets it back to a dozen with 7:55 to go. 58-46. Here's Sewell. Sewell gives it across. Here is Harris. Harris looking, gives it inside. Carried in by Lloyd. Whistle. Turnover. Mount Hood basketball. Offensive foul. Lloyd is called for the offensive foul. And Saints basketball here as Hampton will bring it up. Approaching 7.5 minutes to play. Hampton to the top of the key. Hampton gives it over now to Stevens. Stevens gives it back. Stevens inside Albers. Albers underneath. Gives it back out. It's out of play, but possession is going to be retained by the Saints as it was off the shin of Hanson. So Saints have the basketball. Hampton will inbound from underneath the basket. Gives it to Player, and he floats it in. A nice little pass there for Player. As he puts it in, it's a 10-point game once again. Under 7.5 to go, 58-48. Here's Sewell. Sewell carries it across. Sewell gives it over now Harris. Harris steps into a three and drills it. Will Harris with the triple. It's a 13-point lead, 61-48. Here's Stevens. Stevens at the top of the key, moves over to the right side. Stevens back over. Now here's Hampton. Hampton with a floater, intercepted. Here's Dumas, gives it over to Sewell. Sewell carries it across. Harris puts it up. That was Lloyd. He puts it in. 15-point lead, 63-48. 6 3/4 minutes to go. Here is Stevens. Stevens gets it back over. Looking to Player. It's tipped out of play, and possession is going to be retained by the Saints. That's twice now that I've gotten the ball. Blackwell inbounds it to Hampton. Back to Blackwell. Blackwell guarded, looking. Player's got it. Player spinning. Player goes up. Off, no good. Rebounded by Harris. Harris has got it. Harris looks, gives it back. Here's a three on the way. It's no good. Offensive rebound keeps it alive. Back to Sewell. Gives it back now Tatum. Tatum inside Dumas, and he lays it in. The lead is now 17-65-48. 6 minutes to go. Here's Stevens. Stevens gives it over now to Blackwell. Steps into a three. It's short, no good. Rebounded by Player. Kept it alive. Player looking. Gives it back out to Stevens. Stevens over to Robinson. Robinson three. Got it! Pat Robinson hits the triple. 65-51. It's a 14-point game with 5:44 to go. Here's Sewell. Sewell gives it back now. Here's Harris, a three. Got it. 68-51. The lead is back to 17. Here come the Saints. Stevens has got it. Stevens gives it over now to Robinson. Robinson back to Stevens. Stevens over now to Hampton to the corner. Hampton gives it back to Stevens, top of the key. Stevens looks. Stevens drives. Stevens kicks it back out. Robinson, another three. Off the iron, no. Rebounded by Player. Player goes up, and he puts it in. Amir Player with a nice little rebound there as he puts in the double. 68-53. It's down to 15 as we approach the final 5 minutes. Here is Sewell. Sewell to the right side. Sewell gives it across. Here's a three on the way. It's around and out. Could not be hit by Harris. Now it's Hampton. Hampton steps back. Gives it in. There's Blackwell. Wide open three. Got it. Jalen Blackwell hits the three. 68-56. It's a dozen-point game. Here's Sewell. Sewell carries it over to the left side. Sewell looks. Sewell drives in. Now puts it up. Around and out. No good. Rebounded here by Stevens. Stevens has got it. Stevens looking. Stevens still has it. Stevens moves in. Gives it to Robinson. Up. No good. But a foul is going to be called. And that's going to send Robinson to the line. Timeout on the floor. 4:15 to go. Umpqua 68, Mount Hood 56. And it is actually an offensive foul, or I believe, against Robinson. But timeout on the floor, 4:15 to go. Umpqua up by 12. So out of the timeout, final 4:15 to go. It is Robinson to shoot a pair of free throws. The foul is actually against Tatum. It was his first. So with 4.25 to go here, the Saints trying to mount a little bit of a comeback here. They're down by a dozen. Still have some time. They got to get a little bit more aggressive on defense. They've been doing a lot better on offense here in the second half compared to the first. A couple of triples have been hit. Robinson hits the first, and Robinson hits the second. He gets them both. It's a 10-point game. 68-58, 4:15 to go. Sewell will bring it up net for the Hawks. Gives it over to Harris. Harris back to Sewell. Sewell gives it back now to Harris. Harris to the right side. Harris backs away. Guarded by Stevens. Gives it inside to Tatum. Tatum goes up. It's no good, but a foul is going to be called, and that's going to send Tatum to the line. So the foul there is going to go against Player. It's his first as we are just under 4 minutes to go. Riverhawks looking for the sweep here between the men and the women, both leading. Well, the women actually won earlier against the Mount Hood Saints, as the first free throw from Tatum is no good. So that remains a 10-point game, 68-58. Still has one more. That one is good, so he splits the pair. 69-58, it's an 11-point game. Under 4 minutes to go. Here's Blackwell, gives it over to Hampton. Hampton back to Blackwell. Blackwell gives it over to Stevens. Stevens hands it off to Robinson. Robinson gives it over now to Blackwell. Blackwell over on the right wing. Blackwell looking again. He's got somebody. It's Hampton. Hampton gives it back to Robinson. Robinson, 8 seconds to shoot. Robinson, three on the way. It's good! Pat Robinson for three, and with 3.5 to go, it's an 8-point game. Carried in by Tatum. And now he throws it way out of bounds. It's going to be Mount Hood basketball. He was trying to throw it to Harris. but he threw it way too high. It goes out of play, and it's going to be Saints basketball. 3:23 to go in an 8-point game. Here's Hampton. Hampton motioning his team forward a little closer now at 8. What was once a 15-point lead. Robinson in the corner. Robinson gives it back to Hampton. Hampton top of the key over to Stevens. Stevens gives it back now to Hampton. Hampton over to Robinson. Robinson three around and out, no good. Blackwell tried to get the rebound, but it's into the hands of Tatum. Gives it to Sewell. Under 3 minutes to go. Sewell almost had to post play, lost it, gives it back Harris. Now Tatum. Here's Sewell again. Gives it back to Dumas. Dumas gives it to Sewell. Sewell on the right side. Sewell holding down to 2:40. Sewell moves to the top of the logo. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Sewell backs away inside. Here's a shot. It's good. Counted in the foul. Kobe Dumas puts it in. It's a chance for a 3-point play. 71-61 and a chance for one more with a free throw coming up. Substitution here. Stevens checks out. Bernard checks in as it looks like Billings is going to come in as well, taking the place of a mere player. So a couple of substitutions there for the Saints. Dumas at the line, trying to convert on a 3-point play. It is good. 72-61, 2:33 to go. Saints have it. Blackwell carries it up. Made an Umpqua defender go down. Get it over to Hampton. Hampton looks, floats it. It's good. 72-63. It's a 9-point game. 2:20 to go. Sewell carries it up now for the Hawks. Lost it, got it back. Sewell at the top of the key. Moves over to the left side. Hands it off to Harris. Harris over on the left wing. Harris guarded by Bernard. Now looks. Now dribbles. Inside. Tries to put it up. No good. Here's Tatum. It's good. The jumper falls for Tatum. It's an 11-point game once again, under 2 minutes to go. Here's Blackwell. Blackwell driving up and in. It's 9 once again. Timeout, Saints. 1:47 to go. 74-65. Umpqua with a 9-point lead. The Saints not done yet. We take a look at some scores from around the league. The number 1 seed currently taking on the number 3 seed. That is PCC against Lynn Benton. And right now, halfway through the second half, it is a 2-point game. 60-58 is the lead for PCC. Other games that are going on right now that have playoff implications, you have the number 2 seed Southwest Oregon and the number 5 seed Clackamas, as that score right now has Southwest Oregon in the lead, 55-51. Umpqua, if they can hold on, they would remain at the 4th spot. Depending also maybe what happens in that 1v3 game, Lynn Benton might move down. So Umpqua could move up. We'll have to take a look at the standings. I believe Umpqua would still stay at that 4th spot, but Clackamas could jump in to that 4th spot. Have they win and Mount Hood beats Umpqua, but a foul is going to go against the Saints here. It's against Hampton. It's going to send the ball all the way down to the other end of the court for free throws, as it will be Harris to shoot 2. It's a 1-and-1. So Harris at the line is 72%. Has a 1-and-1 here with 1:45 to go, as the first is on the way, and it is good. So he will get the second, as that extends the lead to 10, 75-65. It's the 7th foul against the Saints here in the second half. Harris gets them both, and it's 11-point lead. 76-65. Here's Hampton. Hampton driving in. Hampton kicks it back out now to Blackwell. Blackwell looks. Blackwell inside, floats it up and in. 9-point game again, down to 90 seconds to go. Had it poked away. Hampton's got it. Hampton inside. No, but the foul is going to be called. So the foul there is going to go against Dumas, and that's going to send Hampton to the line to shoot 2. and to try to cut into this deficit a little bit more, which is at 9 with 85 seconds to go. Becoming a very close game. Like the last one I was here for, is Hampton's first free throw is around and out. It's no good. So it remains at 9. Hampton still with a second one. Could reduce it to 8, and it will. 76-68, 125 to go. Dumas has the long inbound on the run now. Dumas gives it across Tatum. He puts it up and in. 10-point lead. Saints have the ball. Minute 15 to go. Here's Bernard. Bernard lost it. Got it back. And now it's stolen by the Hawks. Whistle and foul against the Saints. So the foul there is going to go against Blackwell. And the Riverhawks up by 10 with 68 seconds to go. A chance to extend that lead with a pair of additional free throws here for Harris. 1-1 here for Harris. Up by 10, and the first one on its way is good. So that makes it an 11-point game. 79-68, 68 seconds to go. Harris still with a second free throw on its way. That one is good. He got them both. 80-68. The lead is a dozen. Blackwell will inbound. Here's Bernard. He's got it. He crosses. Guarded here by Harris. We get to the final minute. Here's Blackwell. Blackwell driving in. Blackwell puts it up, and he puts it in. It's 80-70. A minute to go. Guarded. Here's Harris. Harris looks. Gives it over. Here's Sewell. Sewell has the top of the key. Sewell looks. Poked away, has it back. Sewell looks again, down to 45 seconds. Here is a shot no good by Tatum. Here's Blackwell. Blackwell driving. He steps back. Blackwell inside. Blocked. It's no good. Rebounded here. Sewell. He's fouled with 34 seconds left. Hampton's going to be called for the foul. It's his third. And with 34 seconds to go, it's going to send Sewell to the line. Creighton Hansen checks back in for Evan Tatum. Sewell at the line here to shoot 2. 1-1. Up by 10. Sewell's first is no good, and it's out of play. Rebound, and it's going to be retained by the Riverhawks. Now some arguing going on here of whose ball it is. It's Riverhawk basketball. 33.5 seconds to go. Sewell inbound. Gives it in. Here's Harris. Lost it. Robinson's got it. 30 seconds to go. Down by 10. Here's Hampton. Hampton driving. As we have a foul against Billings, an elbow foul. So it's going to turn possession back over to the Hawks with 25 seconds to go. Long pass ahead. It's caught by Hansen. Hansen guarded by Robinson. Now gets it back to Dumas. Gets it over to Sewell. Sewell tried to have it poked away, and now he's going to dribble it out with 15 seconds to go. So the Umpqua Riverhawks, they will improve to 17-9 as they defeat the Mount Hood Saints, who will fall to 7-18. The final score 80-70 as the clock strikes 0. The Mount Hood Saints drop to 2-11 in conference play. The Riverhawks will improve to 8-5. They stay in the hunt for the postseason with 3 games remaining after this. The Mount Hood Saints will welcome the Southwest Oregon Lakers on Monday for their final home game of the 2024 season. Once again, the final scores from today. The women and the men both fall to the Umpqua Riverhawks. The women lose 96-61. The men lose 80-70. For Cody Runsville, I appreciate him for his time that he was here today. And for everyone that helped me put this broadcast on, both last season and this season. We still have one more on Monday. Hopefully maybe one Jeremy Kennard will join me, but we will have to see. Jack Sandlin saying, so long from Gresham. The Mount Hood Saints fall the Umpqua Riverhawks. They have the Saints coming up on Wednesday. They will still have a second meeting Thanks for joining us. 80-70, the final. Umpqua defeats Mount Hood. From Gresham saying so long.